Hello, everyone. Just popping back in just for a moment to say I'm Carl with St. Louis Public Schools. We are now live streaming on our YouTube page. Heads up if you are going to have another device that shows the YouTube account. There is going to be about it depending on your internet, anywhere between 15 to 30 seconds of a delay. So don't get weirded out if you happen to notice that. To say I'm Carl with St. Louis Public Schools, and as my phone is now playing my earlier statement. So um, if no one has any questions, again, I'll just sit here until 6:30. I'm going to share this on our social media so that others will know the direct link in case they haven't gotten the notification that we're live.
Can anybody else hear Gloria?
No, I can't hear. Can you hear
Gloria, nobody can hear you.
me?
Nope.
No one can hear you.
I don't think your audio is connected. Can anybody else hear Gloria?
There we go.
I can't hear. Okay.
Gloria, nobody can hear you. All right.
Can
Oh.
you hear me?
Yeah, whoever's got the YouTube on in the background, please silence it.
Okay, how about that?
Perfect.
Said a lot. But
Sorry, you're gonna have
I
to say it
did give some
again.
time for Dr. Quinones to join us, so that's perfect timing. It is 6:31. I do believe in being prompt, and I was just saying that I will go ahead and lead us in our program this evening, and by saying good evening to everyone and happy opening day to all those who observe. It is a pleasure to be here for such an important event, where we will have the opportunity to hear the platforms of the candidates who are standing for office in this election that will take place on April 4th. So just a few days from now. And in this role, these candidates will have the opportunity to potentially serve the students of St. Louis Public Schools as a member of the board. And so that is important work indeed. I am Gloria Nolan. As stated before, I'm the parent liaison for the district. I am a proud graduate of St. Louis Public Schools, product of St. Louis Public Schools, and I have 2 students currently enrolled in St. Louis Public Schools. In my role, among other things, I have the pleasure of working with the Parent Action Council. So I'll give you a little bit of background on the Parent Action Council. It is a volunteer run community network, and it serves as a way to advocate for change and a resource to address the concerns of St. Louis Public School parents and guardians. Each parent or guardian of an SLPS student is automatically a member. The Parent Action Council was established in 2014 to help provide effective collaboration among families, schools, and the community. In addition, the Parent Action Council supports academic development across the St. Louis Public School District. And we also go by the name PAC, not to be confused with any political PACs. This is Parent Action Council. We meet monthly, and our next meeting will be held Thursday, April 20th. It will be in person at Gateway Middle School, or the Gateway Complex, as many know it. That's also attached to Gateway Elementary. We will have a dinner provided by our food service vendors, and our health and nutrition services will speak with us on that evening. So it should be a very lively and fun event, so parents can reach out. If you need more information about the Parent Action Council, please contact parentactioncouncil@gmail.com. And I think I've said all of the things that are written here in my notes, so I will pass it over to the league, who has graciously agreed to host this forum, and we are delighted to have their expertise for this event. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good evening. On behalf of the St. Louis League of Women Voters, we're honored to be asked to hold this important candidate forum for the citizens of St. Louis City. Special thanks goes to Gloria Nolan and the Parents Action Council for their hard work on this event. My name is Lisa Collier, and I'm a member of the St. Louis League of Women Voters, and I will be your moderator tonight. I want to thank the candidates for participating. Remember, as you listen to these candidates, you will be electing 2 to serve on the board. They will be in this order: Tracy Heights, is she? J.L. Is that Keonis? Sandy Weiss, and Velma Bailey. That will be the order. The League of Women Voters is a nonprofit partisan political organization which encourages an informed and active participation in government. We work to increase understanding of basic public policy through education and advocacy. The League believes one of the best ways for voters to learn about people seeking election is to hear candidates speak and answer questions in a public forum. They will give their opening statements in that order as described previously, and their closing statements will be in the reverse order. And then we'll ask questions in different opposite orders so that not one person will always be the first person to answer the question. Many say that civil discussion of community issues is impossible since we are so politically divided. But I know that you have come tonight because you care about St. Louis City and want to make a reasoned decision before you vote. The following rules enable us to work together tonight to make that happen. The candidates will have 2 minutes each for an opening and closing statement and 1 minute to answer each question. You have the right to speak to all questions, including those posed specifically to another candidate. Please focus your remarks on what you believe. Present your own position, and please do not refer to an opponent or an opponent's position or an opponent's remarks. You only have 1 minute. Make this minute count and showcase your talents. Remain respectful to all participants and the audience. And we're going to be taking questions from the audience. And so we ask the audience to please make those questions. They should be of general interest and cover issues and not personalities. Make the questions of a nature that all candidates can answer the question. The timekeeper, who is Yvette Kelly, she will, when there's 30 seconds time remaining in your presentation, she will show you the yellow card. We'll show you a yellow card, and that indicates that you have 30 seconds left to close. When your time has expired, she will show you a red card. So at the red card, then you should stop. So those are all of the rules. So let's get started, and we'll get started with the opening statements, and we'll start first with Ms. Tracy Heights.
Can you hear me? Good evening, everyone. My name is, as you say, Tracy Heights. I am a retired union sheet metal worker, and I would like to become a school board member because I was able to get my first start with sheet metal in high school. And we know now that there's no longer vocational training in high school. So I would like to facilitate bringing back vocational training in high school because we know everyone is not going to go to college. So those who aren't going to go to college, we need a vehicle for them to be successful in life. That being said, if we can get that vehicle back up and going, we know that each student will have a successful life after high school. Thank you very much.
Okay. Mr. Keonis. If you are.
Yes, can you hear me clearly? Can you hear me clearly?
Okay, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me clearly?
You're breaking up.
Yes, you're breaking up.
You might be best served to turn off your camera in order to help your Wi-Fi.
I think my Wi-Fi signal is pretty strong.
Okay.
Let's see here. Okay. Can you hear me clearly now?
Yes, yes.
You can
Proceed.
hear me better? All right.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. First off, I want to just thank God for this opportunity. Then I want to thank PACT and League of Women Voters. I want to thank everyone for inviting me. I'm very humbled to be here. My name is Dr. J.L. Quinones, affectionately known as Coach Wynn. I am here to be an asset to the St. Louis public school system. I have worked in every capacity that I could, from being a teacher to a district-wide counselor, as well as a athletics coach and so forth. I know that this is an important task. The direction of our school district must continue to achieve excellence. I bring that type of expertise as an educator myself currently, and I know that these things are relevant. So again, I am very humbled for this opportunity, and I look forward to working with everyone on the school board to continue the process of St. Louis City Public Schools being excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next candidate, Sadie Weiss.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here this evening. My name is Sadie Weiss. I'm a licensed master social worker, and I've been working with children and families for over 10 years. I currently serve as the assistant director of the Elmsville Bridge program, providing support to students across the St. Louis region as they prepare for college and other post-secondary opportunities. I'm running for a seat on the St. Louis Board of Education because I believe St. Louis will thrive when schools are placed at the center of our communities. I'm passionate about ensuring students have the resources and support they need to be successful. And I want us to work together to expand the community school model in the district, to ensure that all of our students are exposed to rich learning environments, and create strategies that engage the community and empower our educators by providing them with what they need to serve our students. I love SLPS, and I'm ready to do the work needed to advance the progress the district has made over the past few years. I look forward to welcoming Dr. Scarlett as the new superintendent and focusing on long-term solutions that will support the growth and development of students here in the city of St. Louis. So thank you for having me tonight, and I look forward to the questions.
Thank you. Okay, and our next candidate, Velma Bailey.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everyone involved for organizing this event, and I'm very excited about being here. Working with children is my passion. And a little bit about my background. I served as a teacher in the St. Louis Public School District for 26 years. And when I retired, I started a summer day camp in Fairground Park after a boy in our neighborhood was shot, and then he was later pronounced dead when he got off his school bus. Some of us got together and we started a 3-week back to school safety camp. And that was going to be our one-time effort to help children. And now here we are in our 11th year of a summer day camp, which has expanded to after school programming, Saturday programming, and we also work with children during the breaks that they have with the school district. We have been able, as a grassroots organization, to organize children so that the St. Louis region can take care of them. Now in 50 days of our summer day camp, we take our children on excursions into the community on 30 of those days. Everything that we do is embedded in the activities that we work on, strengthening academics to prevent learning loss and also help our children learn new skills that they can take back to their classroom. We teach our children leadership skills so that they can be a leader among their peers in the community and hopefully anywhere throughout the world they like to go. We have been able to run our summer day camp for 10 years with only volunteers. And I am very happy to say that the region has stepped up and our children go to every major cultural institution in this community at no cost to them or to our organization to learn and be all that they can to create paradigms for lifelong success.
Thank you. Okay, well, we'll get started with the questions, and the first question will be directed to Mr. Quinones. And the first question is, what ideas do you have for school board and city government to improve public education in St. Louis?
My apologies. Can you repeat that question again, please?
Says, what ideas do you have for school board and city government in collaboration, to improve public education in St. Louis?
Well, one of the things I want to see is that there is more effort between the automatic board, the mayor's office, and the St. Louis Public School Board and the district administration staff to further enhance the things that are important for the students and the families of the students in the district. I would like to see the community education centers be a revised platform where we are more inclusive instead of being divested as we have been. And I want to see us form better partnerships with educational organizations nationally and internationally, so that we are providing for our students the best academic curriculum. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Sadie Weiss. Same question.
Thank you. I think we can definitely work together with the city, and I think that is needed for the Board of Education and the city to work together towards creating a stronger school district for our students here in the city of St. Louis. As we all know, the population in the city of St. Louis has been declining, and I think we need to work together with the city to figure out how we can get more families to come to the city and engage with the city and participate in the city, so that our students can all thrive. I do think it's important for us to address some of the systemic issues facing our city. We need to make sure that families have affordable housing, that our students and families have resources that they need, so that students can learn. So I think that's definitely going to be a collaborative effort between the Board of Education and the city of St. Louis to ensure that our families have what they need.
Thank you. Velma Bailey, Mrs. Bailey.
Well, thank you for asking that question. I would like to see similar things go on for our children on the broad scale, where the institutions, the government agencies, and also the major businesses and small business individuals come in and partner with this district. When I started working in the St. Louis Public School District in 1981, 1981, there were 100,000 children in this district, and we had an office of partnership, and we had an office for volunteer services. And we should be able to work with more institutions to get the kind of resources we need for our children without going over our budget. Every government office has museums, trained people with certificates that we can tap into, and it's their job to reach our children. We have been able to access those services through our summer camp. Our children go kayaking, canoeing, cave exploring, ecosystem exploring, and we have the best staff, the best equipment at no cost to us.
Okay, thank you. Tracy Heights.
That is a very good question. The city of St. Louis, the aldermen, the school board, we're all entities of the city. There shouldn't be any reason why we shouldn't be able to come together as a unit to find out what schools need. Each alderman has schools in their district. Why is it they can't spend time to see what that individual school in their area might need? Because every school ain't gonna have the same things going on. So each alderman or leader in that area should be able to come by maybe once in a while and see what might be needed. What can they help facilitate for these kids in their area so they can have a better learning experience? So they don't have to, more communities schooling, so they don't have to worry about being bused 10 miles away from home to go to school. So I would think we should be able to be cohesive where everybody is on the same page, because at the end of the day, it's not about us, it's about the kids. And thank you very much for that question.
Thank you. Okay. Our next question will be directed to Sadie Weiss. What is your opinion on the recent school closures that have taken place in the St. Louis public school system?
Sure, thank you for that question. I'm going back to part of my response in the last question. The population in the city of St. Louis is declining. And so I do think that is a real issue that is unique here to the city of St. Louis. So we need to address that problem. I think school closures are really difficult for our communities. I think they can be really devastating. Students want to go to a school in their community, right, where they feel a sense of belonging, they feel loved, they feel supported, and feel safe. And so when a school closure happens, it can have a real impact on students and families in the community. But I do think that we need to think strategically about how we're going to support students in our schools, given the decrease in student population in the city of St. Louis. When we have smaller schools with less students, that funding is impacted because the funding we receive from the state depends on the number of students in the school. So it's a lot to consider, but I do think that it can be very devastating for communities when their schools are closed. Thank you.
Ms. Bailey?
Tracy, will you please mute your camera or your microphone?
Oh, that's right, it's still on. I'm sorry.
To respond to your question about my opinion about what's happened with the school closings, I think the school closings were devastating. I think they were devastating to certain communities. And I think there should have been, and there's still the opportunity to have schools more strategically in areas where there are elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools that are clustered. At one point after I stopped, when I retired, I got a chance to sub in Parkway, Melville, Ladue schools, and some of the places where school systems work more collaboratively, so children have a ladder and they have more of a sense of belonging to a cluster of schools. I think that there should be some more work with the community to get buy-in. And in the previous question, if I may, I like to also say that one of the specific things I like to look at is how we can partner with the city and the federal government to look at permanent housing for our unhoused students.
Oh, thank you. Tracy Heights, same question.
Well, I'm a part of Sumner Alumni Association, and as you all know, we fight hard and hard to keep Sumner open because the amount of students we have is very low. But we got to do everything in our power to keep schools in these communities, because I feel that if we have the schools in the community will grow. See, we always try to pick apart this one from the other. We have to keep the school and the community as one. And if we get more affordable housing, as one of the other candidates said, then we can bring more people back into the city. We keep building these apartment buildings, yes, fine, but we need affordable 3-bedroom housing. Apartments don't bring kids. Affordable 3-bedroom housing bring kids. And that's what we need, because since I've been on this candidates trail, I have really realized that these teachers really, really care about these kids. We got the people that really care, and they do a very good job for the students. So if we can find a way to get these people to come back in the city, see how good our public schools are, we'll be just fine. And thank you very much for that question.
Thank you. Mr. Kionis. Okay, you have to unmute. We can't hear you. Okay.
Okay, I do apologize that the audio, it went a little low when you were presenting the question. Can you repeat that again, please?
Okay. What is your opinion on the recent school closures that have taken place in the St. Louis public schools?
My outward opinion is very simple. My alma mater, Northwest High School, was closed. It's been closed for quite some time now. It had always been the hub of that community. It was very sad that it did happen. There was never any fair explanation given, except to say that, of course, because of student population loss and things of that nature. However, we are excited to know that there is a push to reopen it as a technical trade school. We look forward to that. Overall, the closing of schools is a hard business. If it has to be done, then so be it. However, I am against the closures of those schools. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's see. Our next question will be directed to Ms. Bailey. If you have no prior well, let me change this because you have prior experience as an educator. What qualifications do you have that translates to you bringing exceptional experience to the Board of Education?
The experience that I bring to the Board of Education first started as when I was a student, K through 12, going to St. Louis Public Schools. I was bused to school out of my neighborhood, and every other year we went to a different school. So by the time I got to 8th grade, I had been to 7 different schools. And I found a home at my high school, at Central, and found community there. I also bring the fact that my daughter attended the St. Louis Public School District up to 7th grade. And I served as a teacher, an educator, and also I served in quasi administrative roles. But the one thing that I bring to this community with the St. Louis Public School District as a school board candidate is starting that summer day camp, working for 10 years. When we started our summer day camp, we had some 7 Bibles and some grass. And we built an organization with more than 100 children there sometimes, partnered with every major organization in this community, getting access to resources, certificated people, and the best equipment that there is. And I want to bring that to the school district.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Tracy Hikes.
Yes. As a sheet metal worker, I was fortunate enough to become a night instructor where I would show some with journeymen certain aspects of the trade. But what I liked most was, if you all heard of the BUD program, Building Union Diversity, I was the instructor. Whenever they came to the sheet metal school, I was their instructor. And I was able to show them small aspects of the trade if they choose to become a sheet metal worker. But I was there to give them knowledge of how certain things was formed and made. We would start with a small piece of paper, draw it out, then they'll cut it out, then they'll lay it out on sheet metal. So I would bring that expertise where I might not be quote unquote certified, but I would have the ability to take the time to show each student just what they need to be able to succeed in today's society. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Quinones.
Oh, please, Dr. Quinones. Mr. Quinones was my father.
I'm sorry, Dr. Quinones.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. That's just a joke. I thank you for that. Thank you for that question. I am an educational consultant. I serve as a curriculum writer and developer. So I am in this field all the time. I do have superintendent certification. So again, I am experienced in educational leadership. So the level of expertise that I bring is profound, very profound. I work with various school districts across the metro area, across the country. I even work with international school districts. And that being said, the one thing that matters to me the most is that it's not about the expertise, but it's about reaching the families and the students. And I have already bridged those trails. Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Sadie Weiss.
As a social worker, I worked in a lot of different spaces serving students and families. I've worked with nonprofits. I've worked within schools, practicing school social work. I've provided mental health services to students in a clinic setting and in the school setting. And I've worked in higher education. So I think this breadth of experience will allow me to work collaboratively with other board members to create strategies and policies that will really be effective. And the well-being of our students has always been at the forefront of everything I do. And I would continue that as a board member.
Thank you. Okay, we'll start off with Mr. Heights. And the question is, what are the 3 biggest challenges facing St. Louis Public Schools today? What are the 3 biggest challenges?
I would say the 3 biggest challenges would be our homeless kids that are not getting enough help at home, and not being able to have community schools. That, I believe, are our 3 biggest problems. Because if a child does not have anything to eat at home, we can't expect them to come to school and learn. If a child does not have a roof over their head, we can't expect them to come to school and learn anything. And if that particular child has to travel to get to school, I think that's just unfortunately for that particular child, that's just a recipe for failure. So we have to find a way for our homeless kids and keep our community schools together so that they have a better chance of success.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Jonas.
Yes, thank you for that question. We do have a huge issue with the tracking and location of all the homelessness that has been since before the pandemic. I deal with this as a chaplain in my own community. I deal with this all the time. The 3 biggest challenges I feel that is a glaring need, and it's nothing against the small moral victories. However, we need to raise our literacy levels. We have to be more focused on raising our math and reading proficiencies. Those are the other 2 things. We're currently now at 12% math when the state average is 35. Reading is at 18% when the state average is 40%. So those are 3 things that we really truly need to focus on going forward. And I'm looking forward to being a part of that being resolved. Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Sadie Weiss.
Yes, I think the 3 biggest challenges facing St. Louis Public Schools today are declining enrollment, barriers to affordable housing and resources for families and students within the district, and the inequities that we see in academic achievement for our students in the district. Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Bailey.
3 of the things that I think are important that are really facing the school district. Some of them have been said, but the first thing I think that's affecting the district in a very negative way is attendance. You've got to have the children at school to be able to teach them, and it also affects the funding. And I was at the last school board meeting, and the reports that they gave about student attendance need to be addressed, and they need to be addressed immediately. We have the consistent problem of academic performance, but definitely the children don't know how to read. And the school district is in the business of teaching children, and especially teaching them how to read. So we need to really get ourselves in gear on that. And then there's also funding. I think the district needs to look at more creative ways to fund programs. There are lots of resources that we could tap into that won't necessarily cost us money. There are experts in many fields that can work with our children during non-school hours.
Thank you. Okay, we'll start with Dr. Kionis. And the question is, what are the 3 biggest opportunities in the St. Louis public school system today? What are the 3 biggest opportunities?
Thank you for that question. I think I answered part of that earlier in one of the questions. One thing is to again have the revised platform for our community education centers to include more work effort with grassroots organizations within each 79 distinctive neighborhoods that we have within our city limits. Another thing is to build the correct partnerships, such as, for instance, I've worked with the OECD, which is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, which is based in Sweden. It's part of their assessment programs for public schooling, as well as student retention and retaining the quality staff that we need for our school district. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. Sandra Weiss.
Sure. I think we have a unique opportunity right now in St. Louis to build upon the strengths of St. Louis Public Schools. I think we have a great opportunity to expand our college and career preparation within the district, that vocational technical training that was talked about already. I think we could leverage some of our funding, some of the emergency relief funding to support some really exciting projects that are going on in the district. And I would also say that there's the potential to expand the community school model. So increasing the number of community schools within the St. Louis Public School District. I think that would be amazing to do in the district to provide those resources, support, programs, and services to students. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Bailey.
I think one of the greatest assets we have in this St. Louis community is that we have so many large corporations and benevolent people. And I think that if we could tap into some of those resources to help our district, I think that would be very beneficial. I think one of the more important things is that we have a core base of students and parents who are in this district, and we have a dedicated staff that has been working in the trenches under some very trying, difficult times, and they stay committed and they stay faithful. And I think we need to really build on that and get some support for teachers. And the last thing I think that we have is, although there are some issues and challenges surrounding behavior of our children, a lot of our children are natural leaders, and we need to cultivate that innate ability they have to lead. And we also need to provide them with additional skills so that they can get hands-on, authentic instruction from some of the institutions that are here, like the sheet metal workers, like the carpenters, and others.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Tracy Heights.
Yes, as everybody is stating, that we have a very good opportunity right now. And if we can get more community collaboration to include student voices, because sometimes when we start doing things, we forget to involve the students, because at the end of the day, the students are the ones that's got to come here and learn. And we have to give them a very good learning environment. And that's why I would really love to get that skilled trade aspect in, because if we can bring in electricians, sheet metal workers, carpenters, to give them something else to look at besides just that college, and I think they will have a better understanding of what they want to do in their life going forward.
Thank you. Okay, next question, and I'm going to give that. I'm going to start with Dr. We can start with Dr. Quiones. We'll start with him again. What makes a person a successful school board member?
That question is, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question again?
What makes a person a successful school board member?
What makes a person a successful school board member is, number one, understanding the intricate parts of what it takes to see the vision of the school district to improve and to maintain success. Secondly, it takes a person who has the will and the know-how to see the correct way to work with others. And third and last, it takes a person who is willing to be a voice of reason and to have the best interests of the students and the families at heart. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Ms. Sadie Weiss.
Sure. The role of a school board member is really focused on governance and policy. So I think for a school board member to be successful, they have to be able to work collaboratively with the other board members to really take a hard look at policy, evaluate it, ask important questions, and ensure that students are at the front and center of every policy decision that we're making. So I think if school board members can have great relationships, build great relationships, build that trust and rapport with one another, then they will be able to work collaboratively to do those two things, which at the end of the day are the main responsibilities of the school board: governance and policy.
Okay, thank you. All right. Ms. Velma Bailey.
Thank you. I think that in order to be a good school board member, you have to be a team player. You got to be able to work with the rest of the people on the board and to be able to get issues presented so that the school district and the children benefit the most. I think that as good school help the school board staff look in different directions, get out of the box and get some ideas and bring them back in the box so we can all play together and advance at the rate that the children should be advancing. And I think one of the things that you have to be a good listener, because when you listen to people, you can help find out the things that they need and you can help direct them. I really do appreciate the opportunity for our children to go to places like the Carpenters Joint Apprentice Program, and they find out about 20 joint trades. You don't ask a girl when she's graduated from high school if you want to be a ballerina. And that's what we need to do for our staff and our school district, get them entrenched and involved.
Okay, thank you. Next candidate, Tracy Heights.
I'm gonna keep it short. There's no I in team. We, if all of our conversations start with we, then we will be a very good school board because we all have to work together. I can do nothing by myself, but we can accomplish a lot if we work together. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next question, and we're going to start this one off with Sadie Weiss. Let's see here. How can community schools be an achievable platform considering the declining population of St. Louis City's population?
Sure, I think that's a great question. I think it's possible if we put in the work and we work strategically with community partners. If we were to hire people who that was their position to leverage those partnerships and to make sure that that the resources were available within that immediate community. I definitely think it's possible. I think it's going to take a lot of work. We definitely need to direct funding. And as I mentioned earlier, I think if we were to take some of the emergency relief funding that we've received, we could do this. And we could make sure that all of our schools are placed at the center of our communities so that students can walk down the street, attend their nearest public school, and receive that love, attention, and support that they deserve.
Thank you. Okay, candidate, Ms. Bailey.
Thank you. One of the things that I think is a challenge and also can be an asset for us is that as a school district and as a board to help the community see that the world is our classroom. We have lived in communities segregated and separated for a long time. At this point, the not-for-profit that I founded, and we're working together with other agencies like City Recreation. We just received a major grant to teach children swimming lessons. Black children drown at 7 times the rate of their white peers. We didn't open up a swimming pool. We are partnering with organizations that already provide that service, have certified people, they have all the equipment that we need. And we were able to put the money from the grant into hiring mentors to travel with the children. We were also able to provide transportation funds and also pay drivers. So we were able to put money back in the community, back into parents' pockets, back into churches that are now partnering with us and want to continue those partnerships.
Well, thank you. Mr. Hikes.
If we could possibly, we have a lot of schools that are closed. If we could maybe start with one community where the grade school, the middle school, and the high school are all still there together, where there might be the high school or the middle school or the grade school might be closed. Maybe we can start with that mock-up one and build from there. We wouldn't have to build any new schools. We can just go back and see where, for an example, if we use Sumner, if Turner Middle and Simmons is still viable, we can go back there, redo those schools, and start from there. And then take every community as such, and maybe we can bring that community schooling back to fruition. Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Keonis.
Yes, can you repeat the question, please?
Okay, the question is, how can community schools be an achievable platform considering the declining population of St. Louis City's population?
Well, I'm old school, but I'm not an old fool. That's what I like to say. One thing I come from is the St. Louis Public Schools. Okay, being a student at Walbridge, being a student at Ford Middle and King Middle and Northwest High School. One thing I always looked at is how the community platform was then. And there were ideas to consolidate certain schools together, such as Walnut Park Elementary and Walbridge Elementary. Don't know where those things went to. I have no idea. I guess they gave up. However, I would like to see our district be back in the fold where we need to be with our community schools, that students are able to have access to those schools again. And I look forward to continuing that with the help of everyone from the communities up through administration to the school board members and entirely. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next question will be directed first to Ms. Bailey. And the question is, school safety has become a huge concern. As a board member, what ideas or suggestions do you have to keep our students and staff safe?
You know, that's a really challenging question in this period of time when privacy is important and, you know, there are just some other issues facing children and staff. But one of the things I would like to see, if we can work together to find out from security companies and cybersecurity people what kinds of things we can do to help keep our children safe. I think more of our teachers would benefit, and children, if they knew how to de-escalate behaviors, to work on some of the security issues. I think there are some ways that we can work with agencies to prevent things that happen from happening, like happened at Central Visual and Performing Arts School. But it's going to take the district working together to find out from professionals in security what we can do.
Thank you. Mr. Hikes. Same question.
Yes, security is very important. I would hate, this is me personally, I hate seeing metal detectors in schools. but I know it's the means justify the ends, but we have to find a way to I don't know, maybe put up surveillance. I don't know. Because we don't want the kids to feel that they're in prison while they're in school. We want them to be a place of happiness, so to speak. So if we could just find something like that can make them more safer, and the teachers, because I mean, we don't want them to be like Texas and packing guns to school, the teachers that is. So it's like the other lady said, it's going to be tricky, but we have to look at every avenue we can to keep our students safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Kionis.
Well, I am a U.S. Coast Guard vet. I was a military police officer, so security, I scored very high in those marks, and I'm grateful. That gave me expertise to be able to share with many colleagues that I've worked with and continue to work with in the field of education. I have worked with various schools, Christian academies, public school districts on security protocols, such as having safe exit points, things of that nature that are congruent to safety protocols. So I understand that safety is a must. As I watched some of the children who were from my church be traumatized by the shooting at their school at Central Vision Performing Arts, it really brought to my mind how we can really heighten our security within the St. Louis Public School District. And that's something I'm looking forward to seeing be brought to more importance. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Weiss.
Sure. Ensuring a school environment that is physically and psychologically safe for students is critical for them to learn and grow. So I do think we need to take a critical look at the environments of our schools, making sure that students have a positive environment where they do feel safe and secure, making sure we have mental health practitioners and social workers in our schools supporting students, and figuring out how we can mitigate risks, I think is extremely important. So those are all things that I would be focused on because safety is a top priority.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll start this next question with Mr. Hikes. How do you partner with outside organizations in a way that maintains and allows teacher creativity and expertise in the partnering process?
Could you repeat that, please?
It says, how do you partner with outside organizations in a way that maintains and allows teacher creativity and expertise in the partnering process?
Well, we would have to, even though they're a partner, we would have to let them understand that you are helping, but our teachers has the role of teaching. Just because I'm a partner doesn't mean I will get involved. They should be involved with how our teachers teach. Yes, they may have suggestions, and that's what it would be, a suggestion, because at the end of the day, our teachers are the ones that are teaching. They're just helping us facilitate that particular program. So they would have to know that they have boundaries that they can't cross, but because we don't want our partners to interfere with our teachers, because they're the ones that are interacting with our kids on a day-to-day basis. Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Kionis? Okay, did he leave me? Okay, Dr. Kionis, are you there? Okay, we'll come back to him. We'll go to Ms. Weiss. Same question.
Sure. I think there are some great organizations in the city of St. Louis that make excellent partners, but we definitely have to be thorough in our review of those organizations as we allow them to work with our students in the school setting. I do think that our educators have the expertise, and we should trust our educators and lean on them when working with these partner organizations and making sure that our partner organizations are building upon what our instructors and educators are doing in the school.
Thank you. Ms. Bailey.
Well, I think that for the benefit of the students and the staff in the district, that's an area where we really need to step out on and get more people, more partners involved. But in my opinion, to be able to make those partnerships the best that they can be, there need to be benchmarks set, there need to be goals set, there should be some pre-planning where the partners and the teachers meet together and plot out what the procedures are going to be and how they're going to work. There should also be some kind of post-activity and a post-evaluation. And at the end of all of that, there should be some way that the children can apply what they've learned, make a practical application to make sure they've internalized whatever the goals were for that lesson.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Dr. Quiones, are you still with us? Okay, I think he's not with us. Okay. Okay, well, we're going to direct this question to Ms. Weiss. And the question is, what other districts nationally have garnered your attention because of their innovation and ability to improve student experiences and outcomes?
Sure, thank you for that question. I'll point to Baltimore. Baltimore is a city that's quite similar to St. Louis in a lot of ways, and they really have taken on the community school model and utilized that within their school district. So I think that is a great example for us to look at, and we could learn a lot from other cities as well in the nation that are utilizing the community school model. There are plenty of examples. I won't list them all, but I think in particular, we could look at Baltimore because of the similarities that exist between our two cities.
Thank you, Ms. Bailey. Same question.
Well, in my opinion, the reality of a community school is you make the school a community, and schools should be developing a culture so that young people can work together, and we have to be able to bridge across all of these inequities and work with the diversity that we have in this community. There are at least 9 prominent languages, and there are dialects of those that are spoken in this country, and most of our children can't say hello outside of being in English, being an American. I really hope that we can start looking at what community looks like and how we can make community, how we can make St. Louis. We had a major company leave here because they couldn't get people to work at the level of training that they needed. We need to look at that. What is community and what are we training our young people to do? And silos just aren't working. I would also like to see that we have more cultural diversity in the schools and create a community in those areas.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Hikes.
Could you please repeat the question?
Okay, it says, what other districts nationally have garnered your attention because of their innovation and ability to improve student experiences and outcomes?
Well, as of right now, I really can't speak much to that question, but all I would say is that we in St. Louis need to do everything that's possible as a community to make sure that each student is getting the best education they can possibly get. We need to go a step above any other district so we can bring back more of our kids back to the St. Louis Public Schools. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is Dr. Keonis, did we lose him? Is he gone? Is he still on? Okay,
Tech support has, he's coming back in just
He's
now.
coming
Thank
back
you so
in.
much for your patience.
okay, thank you. Okay, well, we'll just go on to the next question. And we're gonna start this with Ms. Weiss. What is one recommendation you can make to minimize conflicts of interest between the responsibilities of an individual school board member and their personal professional pursuits?
Sure, I would say we would have to look at the policy that currently exists on this issue and make sure that we are reviewing all policies and evaluating them so that we could really, so I could have a better understanding of this particular issue and ensure that there aren't those conflicts of interest. We could talk about conflicts of interest within school district, conflicts of interest maybe between partner organizations that we're working with. So we would really need to evaluate the policy in regards to conflict of interest on a regular basis.
Thank you, Ms. Bailey.
One of the things I think we could do is make sure that there's transparency when there's any contract that's entered into between entities and the school district. I think they should be made public on some kind of a list, even if it's just on the district's website where people can go and research and find out which agencies are delivering services and who the entities are that are benefiting from them. But to make sure that when the board votes, there should be conflicts of interest should be stated at that time. And all of the MOU should be reviewed by the legal department before they're entered into to make sure there are no conflicts of interest.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Heights.
Oh, yes, as a board member, I would have to do my research and make sure that any entity that we enter into agreement with, that I know the paperwork is in order and I am nowhere near or no one on the board is what word I'm looking for for lack of a better word, is attached to them in any kind of way. Because like me, myself personally, I was a sheet metal worker. So if they had some new HVAC systems to be put in, I'd have to make sure that everything is above board and in order before whoever company is would get the contract to do that work.
Okay, thank you. Is Dr. Keonis, is he back on?
Yes, I'm available, and I do apologize. Somehow I got kicked out of the meeting, so my apologies.
Sorry about that. Okay, I'll go over this question again. What is one recommendation you can make to minimize conflicts of interest between the responsibilities of an individual school board member and their personal profession pursuits?
Well, I deal with conflict resolution daily. One of the things as a collective, the school board would be responsible and accountable for working with each other to have all parties involved, to have an open discussion, to make sure that that there is very minimum chance of things not being done in an orderly fashion. So in that pursuit, to make sure that acting as mediators, that we are able to hear all sides, understand what is at stake, make the proper choices, and that all those things would parlay into things that would work for the betterment of the district and all parties being on the same cooperative page. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're going to start with Mr. Heights, what unique qualities would you bring to the St. Louis Board of Education?
My unique quality is that I'm a people person. I make sure I keep a smile on everybody's face. I won't be there to say, look at me, I'm on the Board of Education. I'll be there to serve. I'll be there to do whatever it takes to make our St. Louis public schools better. Because that's what this is all. This is not about me. It's about the schools. It's about to make our students have every opportunity to be successful in this life.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Kionis.
Can you repeat the question, please?
What unique qualities would you bring to the St. Louis Public Schools Board of Education?
What? I'm sorry, you went kind of
Unique-
low, ma'am. I do
I'm sorry,
apologize.
What unique qualities would you bring to the board? To the St. Louis Board?
Well, the unique quality is what I've always done. I serve the people. Whether I'm pastoring in a church, working as a community elder, whether I am a mentor, counselor, coach, whatever hat I must wear, is the fact that I am here to serve the people completely. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Weiss.
I have dedicated my career to serving others. I started out as a Peace Corps volunteer and really learned through that experience the importance of relationship building. And also I learned a lot about community development during my time as a volunteer. And I came back to the States with that profound experience and really wanted to make a change here back home, wanted to contribute to positive social change in St. Louis. And so I think I bring adaptability, flexibility, and definitely that social work frame of mind and readiness to do the work and collaborate with others through great relationship building.
Thank you. Ms. Bailey?
One of the things I think I bring that's unique to this this race and also as a school board member is I've lived on the same block in my community for 57 years. We were relocated here for gentrification from Hamilton Heights, and I have been able to live here, work here, raise my child here, and also recommit to my community. I believe that the innovativeness that I bring and the hope and vision for our young people to be able to do better and be all they can be is something that's very positive for the district. But I also know from working in the district, the support that teachers and administrators and parents need to be able to work together and do a good job. And I'm willing to put forth that effort to be able to support them and help them get resources that they need. When I first started working in this district, there were major corporation heads that were on the school board. And I remember the president of First National Bank being the president of the school board. And I often wondered, why would he do that? Well, one of the perks was that the school district had their bank account there.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. We're going to start with, we'll start with Mr. Heights. Board members have a fiscal responsibility. And how do you suggest recruiting new teachers to teach in the St. Louis public school system?
I am so sorry. Can you repeat that question?
Okay, board members, you all have a fiscal responsibility and they want to know, how do you suggest recruiting new teachers to teach in the St. Louis public school system?
Oh, easy question. It's great to be in the city of St. Louis. It's great. This is the best school district in the world. And we're going to make sure you have every tool you need to be successful. And they're gonna, you know what? They're gonna want to come here. They're gonna want to relocate here because we're gonna make sure they have everything. We're gonna have them some support staff they need, whatever they need. If they need, if the teachers, because we know the teachers go through a lot. If the teachers need counseling, we're gonna have counseling for them. So they're gonna want to come. They're gonna want to come running to St. Louis Public Schools because we're gonna make sure they are well staffed and have everything they need. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Keonis.
Well, one thing I want to say is I don't want to see what is going on with the Los Angeles Unified School District going on with teachers striking. I don't want to see that happen. Not here in St. Louis. You know, flat out, I have nieces and nephews who are educators as well. My family has been well invested in St. Louis Public Schools for as long as I can remember, even before my time. One thing to do is to make sure that the teachers are fairly compensated, starting out with a base salary of $52,000, depending on their educational credentials, giving them the insight and understanding to know that this is a school district that is worth working for. And if we can do those things to retain the talent that we already have and to attract new talent, that would work suffice enough. We need to take care of our teachers. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Weiss.
Sure. I think the most recent 8% increase in salary for our educators in SLPS was a good start, but I think we need to come up with more creative strategies and incentives for our educators. Educators in the city of St. Louis love, for the most part, I think, love teaching in SLPS. And so if we can provide our educators with the support that they need and also creating a positive environment for them, I think that will be crucial for ensuring that we not only recruit new teachers, but that we retain those teachers within the district.
Thank you. Ms. Bailey?
Well, one of the things I think we could do is when we're recruiting teachers is that we need to start at home because charity starts at home and spreads abroad. We have parents in our schools, we have teacher assistants, and we have other professionals who can be trained to be a teacher, and they can be in the community where they've already started and have an affinity for. And I do agree with the statement that most of the people who teach here are teaching here because they want to, and they love the district and they want to give back in some form or fashion. I'd also like to see some of the new teachers be placed in the cohorts so that they have some support and not just with other their peers who are just starting out like them, but with some responsible administrators and teachers who are seasoned. I'd like to see the teachers when they support after school programs that they get a fair pay for that. And I do believe that the district voted on $45 an hour for some of the teachers not receiving that kind of incentive.
Thank you.
And I'm going to close with retirement. Give the
Thank you.
teachers a turn.
Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, you all can exhale just a little bit. Will be the last question. And we're going to start with Dr. Keonis. Why do you want to serve on the St. Louis Public School Board of Education?
Give me one moment. I just want to see, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but this is a picture from this past Saturday. I don't know if you can see it really clearly enough, doubt it. Hopefully you can. But in this photo, I actually worked with a bunch of young men and young ladies to get them prepared for a U.S. National History Bee and Scholars Bowl that was held in Lincoln, Illinois. The two young men who are standing close to me are my nephews, my great nephews who attend Roosevelt High School. They made it to the national level to where they'll be in Seattle next Saturday. Again, I'm about the students. I always have been, I always will be. And I do care. So I look forward to being a part of this district being better. And this is why I've come. They called me, the people called me, I'm coming. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Weiss. Same question.
I want to serve on the Board of Education because I do believe that St. Louis will thrive when schools are placed at the center of our communities. I care deeply about the city of St. Louis, and I care deeply about children who live here. I want to be a part of a board that is thoughtful and asks the right questions and creates policies and long-term strategies and a proactive approach to education here in the city of St. Louis.
Thank you. Ms. Bailey.
I want to serve on the St. Louis Public School District because I believe I have the gifts, I have the talents, I have the experience, and I have the compassion to see our district move forward in the journey that it's trying to go forth in to make sure that our children are all that they can be. I looked at the model of the Harlem's Children's Zone, with Jeffrey Canada started in New York in Harlem, and they built a whole community to the point where they even bring in moms that are pregnant and help them learn how to start teaching their children when they're in the womb. I look forward to helping
Okay. Oh, Ms. Bailey, you're gonna have to unmute you're muted.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to helping the people who are in place, who are earning the salaries, do their job and look beyond the box that they're in and bring back some innovative strategies. I can do things as a board member to support them, but ultimately it's their job.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Heights.
I would like to be on the board because I don't want one student to, when he's in the 11th or 12th grade, to say, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. We're no longer just going to focus on college. We're going to focus on trades. We're going to focus on IT. So that way, when a child's in the 6th grade, they will start beginning to have an idea of what they might want to do when they become an adult. Because I don't want one lost student. I want every student to succeed. And if we on the school board do our job, every student will succeed. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now you have 2 minutes for closing statements, then we'll start with Ms. Bailey.
Thank you. I have appreciated being in this forum, and I want to extend my appreciation to everyone who was involved in organizing this and making sure that people get an opportunity to hear our platforms and also be able to refer to them later. One of the things that's important to me is for people to show up, and I want to help the school district do all it can to increase student attendance, student reading levels, press for technological advances, improve this school district and help it reach out and work together in the community. There's a match when federal government and Health and Human Services are looking for ways to reduce homelessness, and we've got a large population of those children right in our district. I've been able to make those matches. I bring that skill and that gift to this district, and I look forward to helping every child get a chance to be able to exercise what they need to do, from take hands-on authentic experiences right now and be able to build on them. So when they graduate, we are the school district that people look for young people to be in job placements. And I was very successful in one job that I had with the district, helping develop partnerships. And we developed a partnership with the Army Corps of Engineers. Our young people got jobs for the summer, internships that did well. They got a full-time job in the summer. And after that, they were able to get a government job with the Army Corps of Engineers, where they could work full-time, have government clearance at an early age, and then they got tuition reimbursement to work and be able to pay for their own college experiences. The trade unions are looking for us. There are opportunities for people to, that are looking for our young people to be in many fields. But the school district and the people who are at the helm need some support in making sure that they reach out in those areas. And I'm the person.
Thank you. Mrs. Weiss, Ms. Weiss.
Thank you all so much for organizing this forum. It's been wonderful being here and responding to these questions, and so look forward to continuing conversations about education in the city of St. Louis. I do care a lot about students here, and I want to serve as a voice on the board that advocates for the resources and support students need to reach their full potential. I'm ready to work collaboratively with current board members to focus on policies and strategies that serve all students in the district. I love SLPS and want to highlight and accelerate the wonderful things that are happening in St. Louis Public Schools. And I hope to have the chance to do the work to support our students as they progress from pre-K all the way up to the 12th grade and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Quiones.
Okay. Again, I just want to thank League of Women Voters. I want to thank PAC. I want to thank everyone who was invested in this thing of our district becoming better. Flat out, I'm looking forward to working with those who have the best interests at heart for the students and the families who are the true stakeholders within the St. Louis Public School system. I want to make sure that it is well understood that it takes a collaborative effort for us all to do our part. The infighting, the bickering, all these things that have taken place, it's time to put that to the side. It's time to stop. We have more at stake than we know. In a unified effort, we can get things done. I've always been that person who will put the interests of everyone else before myself. And I will continue to do so as a board member. I will continue to serve the people and be a voice of reason. I've heard from all the families, all the students who have all said the same thing. We're tired. We want our district to be better. This is why I've come. I've never had any interest in anything else except serving the needs of the people. I've always been a servant. I will continue to be such. I've had nothing but love and admiration. And I want to just thank everyone who has supported me. And I just thank you guys again for allowing us this platform. Thank you to the other candidates. Thank you to everyone who is again invested in seeing our district be better. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Heights.
And once, as everyone else said, thank you all very much for allowing us to be here this evening. But if I'm able to be on the school board, we have a unique responsibility. We could either be part of the problem or part of the solution. We will have the opportunity to make sure that the teachers can get better wages, have more resources, a more supportive administrative help, and make sure if we can find a way to get community schools back on the agenda and make sure we get our wraparound sources together, we will be able to have the best public school in the nation. But we know it takes all of us, from the superintendent, the school board, the administrative staff, and the educators, and the students. If we all can come together, there is nothing that we cannot achieve. Because at the end of the day, it's about the kids. It ain't about Tracy Hikes. It's not about nobody, the school board. It's about the kids at the end of the day. And what are we going to do as a board to make sure they have a successful school experience before we push them out into this world of ours? And once again, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
I'm done.
Thank you, thank you. Now, in closing, I want to say thank you to the candidates for participating, and thank you to all of you for making this a very successful event. Thank you for our hosts, and thank you for those volunteers from the St. Louis League of Women Voters. And if you found today's forum to be useful, think about joining us by becoming a member of the St. Louis League of Women Voters. And we do take men. You don't have to be a woman to join, or make a modest donation if you appreciate the free services we provide to educate voters. To our audience, the polls will be open on Tuesday, April 5th from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Make sure you go and vote. And I say good luck and Godspeed to all of our candidates on your quest to serve for the St. Louis Public School System. And I'll turn this back to Glenn. Thank you.
I just want to conclude with a thank you as well to the League of Women Voters for your education and support of these forums across our region. And so bravo and kudos to you. I would like to thank each and every candidate for joining us tonight. And thank you for being so just diligent and thoughtful in sharing your platforms. And I hope that tonight's conversation will help voters make a decision on how to move forward to best serve the students and families of our district. I'm so grateful to be able to serve in this capacity, and of course have any opportunity to lift up the voices of parents within the district of St. Louis Public Schools, thereby lifting up the student voices. You all have a good evening, and best wishes on